Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's topic is makeup products that I love and will always repurchase unless something, blows it out of the water and changes my mind on that. But these are my current favorite products that I have repurchased multiple times, and for the foreseeable future I will be repurchasing when they run out. So let me just get right into that. The first one is the primer that I use. That's this one. It's the Smash, it's hard to see on the camera. It's the Smashbox Photo Finish Smooth and Blur Primer. And I tried this. It came as like a sample in one of my Sephora orders a long time ago. And I loved it. It's like this weird clear, it's like this clear jelly stuff that you just put all over your face before you do your foundation and stuff. And I found that it made, like, at first I was like, oh, well, it was before I even actually used primers, and I was like, primers, like, who cares? Like, how much is that really gonna do? And I was surprised to see how much it actually really helped. Like, it really made my foundation go on super evenly and smoothly, and so I decided to buy it in the full. This is actually the full size, but I'm running really low on it. I'm gonna have to repurchase one like very soon. This is the full size one. The sample one was like quite tiny. But yeah, a little bit goes a long way with it though. Like, it lasts a pretty long time. But yes, I am planning to repurchase this for sure. So the next one is another primer, and that is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Anti-Crease Eyeshadow Primer. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. You can kind of see it now. So again, this was one of the products I did receive as a sample first, and it was also at a time when I never used eyeshadow primers, and I did find that I did sometimes when I worked a long day or something, by the end of the day, like, I would get that creasing going on with my eyeshadow. So it was something that I was curious about, because I was like, oh, it would be awesome if that didn't happen. And then I tried this and it worked. So I don't use my other primer on my eyelids. I use this instead for my eyelids. This is the first full-size container that I bought of it, because I just finished using up the sample that I had. Or I might have had two samples. Like, I've been using the sample sizes for like a long time. But this is how big the full-size one is, and considering how long the samples have lasted me, like, I feel like this is gonna last me like a long time, because again, a little bit goes a really long way. But yeah, I like basically swear by those primers now. Like, they've made a huge difference in my makeup routine. It is like an extra step, but it's totally worth it, especially if you're planning to do your makeup in the morning and have it last, if you want it to last like a long time. Like, if you're just getting ready for like a night out and you don't care if it looks crappy after like 4 hours, then maybe you don't need that. But I just like using that so that I can do my makeup and go to work, and then because my work days are usually quite long, because I'm usually, like, I work in the wedding industry, so I'm usually at somebody's wedding, and I'm with them from the time they're getting ready in the morning to all the way through the wedding day, to dinner, to reception, stuff like that. And by the time that comes along, it's like, without the primer, my makeup would just be like dripping off my face and disgusting. It already gets kind of like that just because, like, I'm usually working like 10 to 12 hour shifts, so I feel like there's no product out there that will make it so your makeup stays perfect for 12 hours. But if you have any recommendations, I would definitely be open to trying if there's something that's going to make my makeup stay perfect for 12 hours. I just feel like that's a lot to ask of some makeup. But yeah, so my next go-to product that I always repurchase is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. It's not that this is necessarily the best mascara I've ever tried. I really like, actually, the CoverGirl Lash Blast Mascara, but I just find that one, you run out quicker. Like, there's less product in it, I think, or it feels like there is. Like, maybe I just layer it on more so it goes through it faster. But so I find that this one's pretty comparable in terms of like performance. Like, I like the way it works, but I feel like even though it costs more to buy, it lasts me longer. So in the end, it's like pretty much the same price anyways, because I would have had to replace like a CoverGirl one a lot quicker. So I basically switched over to this one now. This is my new favorite. I've repurchased it probably like 4 or 5 times at this point, and I'm planning to continue to. All right, so the next one is my foundations, and I have stuck to the same foundations for several years now just because I finally found something that I feel like really works for me, and so I'm like afraid to switch because color matching for me is always really hard because I'm really, really pale, and you may not be able to tell like necessarily on camera, but I'm the whitest shade of white. Like I always have to get like the lightest shade, and I have like pink undertones to my skin, so a lot of times the very, very lightest like ivory shade is too yellow on my skin, so you don't get usually into the pinky undertones until you get up in the shade numbers a little bit, and then it's too dark. So finding a foundation that actually matches has been a struggle for me for like forever. So I actually never found one that was a perfect match, so I mixed two different ones together, and that's my current routine, and it works for me, so it's fine. But one of them is the Makeup Forever Professional Paris Ultra HD Invisible Cover Foundation or whatever. A lot of people talk about this, or at least when I first got into using it, people were talking about it because a lot of makeup artists have told me like that it's pretty much the best one for like photography. Like it makes your skin, you don't notice it very much like in a photograph, even if you're really close up or something like that. So I liked that idea. This is, I'm sure, one of the lightest shades. R230. It might not be the lightest shade, but it's like relatively light. It's like pretty light. But the reason I can't use just this one alone is, number one, it's only probably, I would say, like a medium coverage, and I don't have great skin, so I need like a full coverage. And the second reason is, yes, it is too yellow for me on its own. When I put it on its own, like, then you can see like a definite spot where my skin and my foundation just don't match, so it looks really bad, and I just start to like look sickly. So I use like half this, and then I mix it together with this, and this one's like from Sephora, so it's like more expensive, but this one's like super affordable. This is the other half of my foundation routine, and that's the Rimmel London Stay Matte Liquid Mousse Foundation. They say it's like a liquid, but it's not. It comes out like a paste. Like it's like the texture of like a weird like toothpaste almost kind of texture. It's very thick, and I use the color Light Porcelain, which is definitely like, I'm pretty sure, the lightest shade you can get. I even struggle to find this shade in a lot of stores. Like I'll go there and they'll have this product, but they don't even go down to like the number 010, which I'm pretty sure is the first shade you can get. And I like this because it's definitely more pink undertoned, so when I mix it with this one, it like matches my skin a lot better. It like balances out the yellow. It's also way more full coverage than this one is. Like I said, it's very thick, so it's like a paste almost. So on its own, it's almost like too much. Like it gets really cakey like by itself. So that's why I like mixing with this. The texture just becomes more of like a in between like a pure liquid like this and like a paste. So it kind of is more like just like a thick, I don't even know what you'd call it, stuff. But like, yeah, so I always repurchase these two so that I can use them together, and if they stop making one of these two, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to try and find like a whole new routine. But yeah, no complaints really about these two. Like I said, I have a few complaints if I were to use one individually or the other individually. I'd have complaints, but when I mix them together, it's like, it works really well for me. Okay, and the last one I want to mention of my, I guess you could say maybe holy grail products, is one that I feel like is super underrated. And I don't know if that's because, like, I don't think I've ever heard a YouTuber ever even talk about this before. And I don't know if that's because maybe the brand is Canadian. Like, I'm Canadian, so it's hard for me to know. Like, I don't know what kind of stuff that I have here that maybe people in America don't have access to. I just assume most of the stuff we get here is American, or they at least have it available in America. Like, Canada basically just gets, like, we don't have a whole lot of our own independent brands, so most of our stuff is American brands. So I just kind of assumed it was, but perhaps it's not. So let me know in the comments if you're American or anywhere else overseas, like the UK or anything, if you even have this store or this brand where you live. But it's from The Body Shop. So that's a store here in Canada, and they sell a lot of, like, ooh, you can see my whole house there. Ooh, ooh, okay. So it's a store that sells, like, mostly, they do have like a small makeup section, but they mostly sell like body body scrubs or like body washes and face skincare type products, or like scented lotions or scented candles. I think they might sell scented candles, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, gifty type stuff like that, or like makeup wipes, makeup removers, stuff like that. More on the skincare side of things than the makeup side of things though. And I have tried a few other of their other makeup products, and I'm not like thrilled with anything else I've really tried. Like I'm just kind of like, oh, it's okay. Like, but this is the all-in-one face base, they call it, but it's basically like I use it like a setting powder, and I am so obsessed with this powder. I've been rebuying it for, I swear, like 8 years probably, because I just love it so much. So it comes with like a foam. I'll see if it's still in here. Oh, it is. Okay. So it comes with like a foam applicator thing, but I never actually use that. I just leave that. It's in like a little compartment in the top, but I actually don't use it. I use these like things that you can buy just at like the drugstore or whatever. They're just like those puff pad things. I don't even know what you call them, but those like puffy things. That's what I use. I mean, I'm sure you probably should just use a brush. That's probably what most people would do, but I like to really like pat it on to like set my foundation and stuff. And as you can see, I've clearly like hit pan on this hard, and I've probably gone through like 7 or 8 of these already in the past few years. Like one thing of this doesn't even last me a whole year usually, because I use it every single day. But that was a weird noise, sorry guys. Yeah, this is like, I just love it. It's very mattifying, and I'm one of those people where I hate the look of like greasy skin, or like, I don't know, like just, like I said, I want my makeup to like sit on my face for hours and still look good. And I'm sure, as many of you know, like at least my experience with makeup is like after the first few hours, it starts to look really greasy, like in here around, like basically in my T-zone area. And so when I use this, that really helps with that. It like really, it's really mattifying, and it really helps with the shine and like the greasy look. So yeah, this is like the best powder I've ever tried. And I've tried a few other ones. I've never tried like a really expensive one, so maybe I'm missing something. But as far as like drugstore or like lower priced powders, like I find, once again, they're usually a lot too yellow, or like they say they're translucent but they're not really translucent. And this one doesn't really claim to be translucent. It's got a shade number on it. This is shade 03, and I think, once again, it's like the lightest shade you can get. But they have a variation of shades. So if there is the Body Shop, if that's a thing in the States, try this powder and tell me what you think, because maybe I'm alone in this, but I think it's basically one of my favorite makeup products that I've ever tried. Yeah, and if you've never heard of the Body Shop, like comment below, because I totally thought that was just something that was everywhere, but maybe that's Canadian. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so those are kind of like my holy grail products, the products I always repurchase when I run out. So comment below if any of those are your holy grail products as well, or you know, if any of those are new to you, if this video kind of like inspired you to try out something new, and let me know what you think. Maybe you totally disagree, maybe you hate these products, I don't know. Yeah, but that's about it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.